Hello and welcome to Untwisted Threads. Have you ever bought a yarn online and instantly regretted it? For me, it's too many to count. Not everyone has a local yarn store just down the road, so for many of us, shopping for yarn online is the only option. But buying yarn without being able to touch it, feel it, or see the true color in person, now that can be risky. In today's video, we'll be sharing our top tips on how you can shop smarter for yarn online so you can avoid the disappointment and get skeins you'll actually love to knit or crochet with. So let's get started. Number 1, yarn tolerance. Starting off, I want to get into something I call your yarn tolerance level. And no, I don't mean how big your stash is, although I'm guilty there too. I'm talking about how much texture or scratchiness your skin can actually handle. Because here's the thing, some people can wear rustic wool right against their skin and feel nothing. Or if you're like me, one brush of mohair and it's an itchy disaster. And when you're shopping for yarn online, this matters a lot. You can't touch the skein through a screen. So unless you already know your sensitivity to certain fibers, you're basically gambling with comfort. So we put together a little chart to kind of break down different tolerance levels and a few examples. If you're super sensitive, you might want to avoid fibers like mohair, pure Shetland wool, or hemp, unless it's blended or treated for softness. If you've got a medium tolerance, you might be okay with non-superwash wool or some rustic hand-dyed yarns, but maybe not for necklines. And if your skin is pretty much cool with anything, lucky you, you've got a high yarn tolerance and can experiment more freely. The key is to know where your tolerance sits on that scale. Think back to yarns you've worn or knit with. Did that one hat make you itchy? Was that sweater soft enough to wear all day? That is your yarn tolerance talking. Knowing your limits can help you avoid online yarn regret. And if you're not sure yet, order a mini skein or a yarn sample card when you can. It's like a swatch for your skin. We have a link down below if you'd like to check out our monthly yarn sample card. The first month is free if you'd like to check it out. Number 2, look at reviews. Alright, so you found a yarn online that looks beautiful, the colors are dreamy, the description says it's soft, and it seems perfect for your next project. But before you hit add to cart, hold on a second. You know what's more helpful than a product photo or a description? The reviews. Yarn reviews are like the behind the scenes footage of your favorite movie. They tell you what really happened. If you type a certain yarn into Google, I can almost guarantee that it will give you a rating of 4 out of 5 or higher, which in our opinion doesn't really help you out much at all. When you shop online, you can't squeeze the skein, rub it up against your neck, or swatch it to see how it behaves. That's where other knitters, crocheters, and makers step in with their real-life experience. They tell you things like, this yarn was labeled soft, but it was way too scratchy for me. It sheds like crazy, even after blocking. Or it washed beautifully, no pilling after several wears. Those little nuggets of information, they're everything. Because what a yarn looks like doesn't always match how it feels, behaves, or holds up. And remember, reviews aren't just about the yarn, they're about the match. One person might say this yarn was too rustic, while another says exactly the texture I wanted for my hat. Neither one is wrong. It's about whether it aligns with your yarn tolerance and your project goals. So if you're making a next to skin sweater and someone says it's great for bags or baskets, maybe that's a sign it might not be soft enough for your neckband. A few quick tips while you're scanning is to look for keywords like itchy, soft, durable, splitty, pill, shed, or wash well. Check for repeated comments. If 3 people say it shrank in the wash, maybe you should believe them. And try to find photos in the reviews if they're available. They show you the yarn in real lighting and in use. Ultimately, yarn reviews give you a reality check before you commit your money and your time. So maybe take a few extra seconds to read what fellow makers are saying. Future you and your stash will thank you. Number 3, understand fiber content. So you found your yarn online, you've checked the reviews, and it looks like a winner, but there's just one more thing we think is beneficial for you to understand, and that's fiber content. When you're shopping in person, you can get a feel of a yarn, but online, all you have to go on is that little fiber breakdown. Maybe it says 80% merino and 20% nylon, or 100% cotton, or maybe it's a blend that you've never tried before. And here's why it matters so much. Different fibers behave in completely different ways. Let me give you a few quick examples. Wool is warm, elastic, and great for keeping its shape, but depending on the type, it might feel scratchy or soft. Cotton is breathable and perfect for summer wear, but it doesn't have much stretch and it can feel heavy or stiff when wet. Acrylic is budget-friendly and easy to care for, but not always breathable or soft depending on the brand. Silk adds luxury and sheen, but can make your fabric drapier and sometimes less stable. And linen is crisp and cool, but has almost no elasticity and can feel rough at first. So if you don't know how a fiber will behave, it's easy to end up with a yarn that looks beautiful but doesn't work for your project, or worse, doesn't feel good against your skin. So what can you do? Read the fiber label carefully. If it's a blend, think about how those fibers work together. Maybe research the dominant fiber, especially if it's new to you. Consider how you want the finished item to feel: soft, firm, stretchy, or crisp. That will guide your fiber choice. And always match your fiber to the project. A stiff cotton yarn might be great for a tote bag, but maybe not for a slouchy hat. Over time, you'll start to build a mental fiber library, a sense of what works and what doesn't for you, and that makes shopping online so much easier because you're no longer guessing, you're making informed decisions. So if you see a yarn that's 60% alpaca, 20% silk, and 20% linen, and your brain goes, wait, what does that even feel like? Pause, do a little research, and trust your gut. Fiber content tells the story a photo can't. And last but certainly not least, number 4, you can look at Ravelry for colors. No matter how beautiful a product photo is, colors can be edited, the lighting can be off, and screens always show things a little bit differently. But on Ravelry, you can search a yarn and see how it looks in dozens, sometimes hundreds of real projects knit and photographed by real people. And that's huge. You get to see how the color looks in natural versus indoor light, what the stitch depth is like with cables, lace, or stockinette, whether the yarn blooms after blocking or loses detail, and even how it pairs with other colors and color work. All of that gives you way more confidence when deciding if a yarn is really what you're looking for. So here's a quick demo of how I like to do it. I go to Ravelry and type the yarn name into the search bar. I click on the Yarns tab and then select the yarn that I'm looking at. Look at the project section, you'll see a grid of finished pieces made with the exact yarn. You can even filter by colorway to see how that specific shade worked up in real life. And if the colorway isn't listed, you can also search the colorway in the projects. It's like crowdsourcing swatches from the entire knitting community. And honestly, it has saved me from buying so many impulse buys that I thought I'd love based on the label, but realized they weren't quite right once I saw them knit up. So before you click buy on that dreamy skein, take a peek at how it lives in the real world. Ravelry can be your secret weapon. And if you've ever felt unsure about which yarn colors actually suit you, stay tuned because in an upcoming video, we'll be diving into color analysis and how to find shades that complement your personal features beautifully. So if you're shopping for yarn online, remember, know your tolerance level, check the reviews, read the fiber content, and take a peek at how it looks in real projects. A little research now can save you from a project that sits in your stash unloved or worse, half finished. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to our channel for more yarn reviews and pattern ideas, and we'll see you next time.